Getting in the shape of your life is great. Getting abs for the first time is great. But ask yourself this: who do you need to actually become to reach those goals? Cool. So, welcome along. My name is Andy Naylor. I am founder and CEO of Naylor Body Design and, of course, host of the Optimal Alpha podcast. My guys, welcome back, welcome along. We've got another cool show today. So today we are talking about not just what it is to achieve a goal, but I guess more who you're going to become, who you need to become. This is a very different perspective when looking at goal achievement. 3 topics today. Okay, so we're going to look at the difference between the goal and who it will allow you to become, or even who you need to become to achieve the goal. Okay, then of course, what does this actually mean for you? Like, what does this change of perspective mean for you? And then what's it actually going to take to do that? Okay, so let's dive straight in. So the difference between the goal and who it's going to allow you to become. Okay, so let's unpack this slightly. Getting abs is great. Like, it's cool. Everybody in, I would say, most of the fitness world aspire to have abs. It is a sign of success, isn't it? Being that lean is a degree of a sign of success, because it's showing that you have. Well, think about it, right? It's showing that you have the traits required to get there. It's already showing it. So, but most think that getting the abs is the goal. Okay, and that's okay, because that kind of makes sense. We all society places a huge amount of emphasis on our appearance. There's no way around that. We know that first impressions really matter, whether that be to a potential partner, whether that be to a potential employer, whatever that is. If we want to be successful and raise our status, and be under no illusion, everything we do is geared to raising our status in our world and society. Everything. That's a whole different conversation for another day. But we are always looking to become successful and raise our status. So to do that, we must simply appear a success in our own person. Now, being in shape and being healthy is indeed a massive part of this. We cannot and we should not bypass it. But that's not all that's going on here. Let's say you've never been in great shape, whatever you might deem great shape or society deems great shape. So you've never had abs. You've never had a toned and really healthy physique and mind. Then it means this one thing. You have not yet become the person that you need to obtain those goals. Listen to that again. You have not yet become the person that you need to obtain those goals. A goal is not only achieved by the plans, the coach, the training, the nutrition, the technical stuff. It's obtained by you ascending to becoming the person you need to become to achieve those goals. This is a different set of things. So here we could say, maybe the discipline, the fortitude, the ability to suffer, the mental aptitude, the consistency. These are all traits of successful people. Okay? So it's not just like, you've got to break apart the idea of what is the goal. Like, I can tell you having abs is great. It's awesome, yeah. But the first time I got on stage, the things I learned about myself having to go through the process to getting that level of condition, it's the person I ascended to become that has stayed with me. I've had abs, they've gone while I've bulked, they've come back, they've gone. It's transient. But the lessons that I learned during that process have stayed with me and helped me hopefully become more successful because of it. What could this mean for you? So understand this. If you're not moving forwards, then you're going backwards. Why? Because everyone around you could be moving forwards. Therefore, it's like inflation. Everything is always going up in price. If the thing that you have isn't going up in price, you're devaluing. Therefore, think about that in our person. If we are not moving forward compared to everyone around us, they're moving forward, we're going backwards. Understand that. Your life is in your hands, no one else's. It is, in fact, your fault and yours alone that you have not yet reached your goals. Hear that again. It is basically 100% your fault. There are obviously outlying situations to this, but for the most part, it's about 95% your fault and yours alone that you've not reached your goals. Stop blaming other people and other things. It's your fault. Accept that and move on. Those of you that cannot accept that will remain stuck and roughly where you are. Guess what? Then you'll become bitter with the world. And that too will be your fault. So only due to the fact that you have not evolved to the person you need to become. This is a completely different way of looking at things. Can you stick to a plan? Yeah. Can you do this? It's who do you not physically, but even psychologically change into? Like, let's imagine just for a second, you're someone who's 100 pounds overweight. The person who you are that got you to 100 pounds overweight, in other words, your decision-making processes, your self-care, all of these things, if you carry on doing that, you'll just stay at 100 pounds overweight or get worse. The person that you are needs to become something different to lose 100 pounds. It's not just the dieting, the plan, the movement. Yes, it takes that, but you've got to become a different person. What's it going to truly take? What does becoming a different person look like? So here's just a bunch of things that come to my mind. So self-assessment. You need to be able to essentially look in the mirror, look at yourself and work out what you're good at, what you're bad at, and very, very quickly deal with the things that you are bad at before you emphasize the things you're good at. You've got to get things to as close to a level playing field as possible. If you're bad at certain things, maybe that's self-critiquing yourself. Maybe that is being disciplined. Maybe that's giving up at the first hurdle. You've got to understand those things and you've got to deal with them quickly. But you can only do that through a self-assessment phase. Self-critique, that's kind of one step further. But then also self-love. Like, you can't just beat yourself up all the time. And speaking of time, it's going to take time. It's going to take your focus. It's then going to take more time. It's going to take the ability for you to stay true to a goal and a plan. And then it's going to take even more time. And it's often the time aspect that people get their knickers in a twist over. Why? We live in an over-convenient world that demands things right now. And this is incredibly bad news for personal goal achievement through self-progression, because that just takes time. You will not wake up tomorrow the person that you need to be to go and achieve your goals. You have to nurture it, cultivate it, fall over, smack your face on the floor, get back up, take the knocks, keep going. It takes time. But what else apart from maybe your business, your job possibly, and your family is more important to you? Like, fair to say those things will and should be high on the list. You see, it's not selfish to look after yourself. It's selfless. Because if you aspire to be the best husband, father, business leader that you can be, then it's your responsibility to go and do it. Nobody else's. Stop blaming other people. Because the people around you won't want to be around you when you're bitter to be around, because you've just not evolved to the person you need to become to go and achieve these goals. Like, stop also using the pathetic excuse of time. Like, it's the worst excuse humans have. Oh, I don't have the time to do something. It's a childlike, pathetic excuse. It really is. Yes, you're probably very busy. Yes, you probably don't have much time, but you've got time to look after yourself. Stop kidding yourself. Stop it. Right? It's not an adult excuse. We all have the same 24 hours. I know people with the same 24 hours as me who do far more in a day than I do, and probably far more than you do. You might think you're busy. Are you effective and efficient with your time? I don't know, because I don't know exactly who you are. But the thing about time, the thing about when someone says they don't have enough time, they have the time. It's where they place their priorities. And maybe it's easy to place the priority of, I've worked hard today, I'm kicking back and I'm going to watch Netflix because I've earned it. Really? Have you? Well, maybe that's time could be better spent elsewhere on trying to become the person you need to become to move forward. Start taking responsibility for yourself like a man. Stop with the pathetic excuses. Otherwise, one day, your gravestone will read, died early, full of regret. But he did have a good excuse. Now, that's a bit tongue-in-cheek, but how many people is that? A lot. Why? Because dying early, maybe declining health and dying early is what we could all say is probably a worst-case scenario for us. Fair to say, right? As far as I can tell, we get one go on this merry-go-round. I haven't seen anyone that comes back for a second go and said, I had my audition, but I've managed to come back again. We get one shot. So stop treating it like a fucking audition. Otherwise, if you are in poor health now, pre-diabetic, strokes, heart attacks, all these sorts of things are possibly coming down the line at you, then my God, it's on your shoulders, man. Otherwise, died early, full of regret, but he did have a good excuse. Do you want that? Is that what you want people to think? So, what will you change from this moment forward to become the person you need to reach your goals? What action do you need to take? What do you need to stop? How much suffering will you be willing to endure? And for how long? What do you really have to do to become the best version of you? Think about that. That wraps today's message up. Okay? Take that away. Go and do some soul searching. Think to yourself, just take what parts out of this conversation that you've heard that this resonates with me and go and work on it. And think more inwardly than externally when chasing after a goal. I think as humans, we're naturally, on social media, we're looking externally at what other people are doing and plans and cycles and training regimes and and it's all important. But none of that matters if you are not the person you need to become. I really hope that's helped someone out today. Again, thank you for coming along to another episode. If you've enjoyed this, please give it a 5-star review. Maybe give us a download. Actually follow the podcast. That helps us loads. For now, over and out, gentlemen. I'll be back next week. Take care. Bye.